Man was created to be in the image and likeness of Elohim. What does that mean anyway? What does that look like? I believe that seeing man, you should be seeing Elohim. That was the intention. That if you saw a human being, that human being would have been being Elohim-like. And so as Yeshua says, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father, I think that was the point of all of us. I guess that's why he's called the second Adam, right? That seeing him means seeing the Father. Seeing us, people should see the Father. They should see the Son. So man was to be like Elohim, properly representing who and what he is. That's the very beginning basic understanding. Remember, not too long ago, before these verses, it started off with the earth was tohu vabohu. It was chaos and confusion, void and without form, whatever words you want to use to translate that. And so man is now being brought in to be a part of the worker bees, so to speak, to bring this all into submission. Submission to what? Man's authority. Well, it won't give it our authority. No, we're here representing him. So we're bringing everything under his authority. Okay, if I'm president of the United States and you're my ambassador or representative and I send you to a country, who are you representing, you or me? You're representing me because I sent you there. Well, he put us here to represent him like ambassadors, okay? And so we were to bring the whole earth under his authority as we had opportunity, okay? He gave us that authority. So Elohim formed man, us, okay? Out of the below, out of the earthly. We were formed, this is why we screw everything up. Okay, we were formed out of the earthly, and that would be fine because the fish, the birds, all of these things were formed out of the earthly, but they were also programmed on how to exist in the earthly. That's how they know where to go, how to migrate, what they're going to do seasonally and how to do it. They don't need to be trained on anything. But then he did this really tremendously empowering thing that also screwed the whole thing up. Okay? He breathed the above, the heavenly into us. Not that we became heavenly, but he breathed into us the ability to create, to decide, to think, to have that individual thought process. In other words, free will. He picked you, not because of your belief. He says it's not by works, so that, in other words, you didn't do anything, except that he believes that you could and you would. Boy, doesn't that change that verse a little bit? Okay? For by favor, you want to go with unmerited? It's not really, though, because you hadn't merited it yet, but he knew that you could merit it. And so it's through belief, his belief in you, and not of yourselves. If it was your belief, it still would be of yourself. Right? Wouldn't you get credit for that at least? Because believing is a work, isn't it? It doesn't take effort to believe at times. It is a work. But he believed, which is, I teach you this every Rosh Chodesh, right? When I tell you, you can get where you're supposed to go from where you are right now, because he picked you, which means he believes you can do it. So at that time, you were without Messiah. Don't get mad at me, okay? All you Christians out there, I'm not picking on you, but you've been lied to, okay? Without Messiah fully. What is fully? He's the truth, the Torah, the walking, talking, living word, okay? If you love me, guard the commandments. Oh, no, it doesn't say this. It says guard my commands. He's the one on Sinai giving the commands. What commands do you think he's talking about to the Jewish people he's talking to? He's not talking to Gentiles. In John 14, he's not talking to Gentiles. He's not even talking to a big crowd. He's talking to his disciples. Okay? So when it says here that you were without Messiah, without your bubble popped, when you are not, it says trespasses, you're dead in trespasses. What are trespasses that he's talking about here? You were just a bad person? There's a renewing of the old covenant. Okay? It's only new because of who he's making it with. The details of it are exactly the same. Which, by the way, goes back to Genesis. You can call this a covenant. He breathed the above into him with the covenanting that it was. Remember, it says that these things were known from beforehand. They were prepared from beforehand. From before what? Before he even made man. You think, look, if you go to build something or make something, don't you normally sketch it out or get some diagrams or plan it out? And whatever you're doing, even if you're planning a trip, you make a little list of things so you know what to do and when to do them. You don't think that the Father planned out everything before he even started? That he knew, I don't think the Father anywhere in this plan is winging it. Okay? He planned it all out beforehand. That's why it says that Messiah, okay, it says that he died even before the foundation of the world. Like that was already in the plan. We exist without the breathing in of the above. That's existence. And as we should all agree, I'm going to guess we should all agree, existence sucks. Okay? It does. It's miserable. Existence is, that's why we have so many miserable people in the world, because they don't know this life. They only know about existence. And so they want to numb the pain of existing, because existing is awful and it's painful. Life is joyful and peaceful. But you can only get life from the above. He gave life to Adam. He could have made him just exist. Like the birds, the bees, the fish, everything, all the animals, they all exist. Okay? But we have life. Because with life, we have the ability to make choices. Okay, but it's my house, my rules. I don't think, well, then you can go somewhere else. But you have to have the ability to say that, though. And it takes a certain amount of strength inside to be able to stand up and say, you have the right, you have free will, do whatever you want. However, you can't do it in my house. It's my rules. You want to make rules, go get your own house. And basically that's what Yahweh said to them when he put them out of the garden. He says, you don't want to play in my house by the rules? Go out there, the whole rest of the world is your house. Do what you want. Now, if you want to come back into my house, you're going to have to learn how to play by the rules. That's really what this has all been about, getting back to the garden. Isn't that correct? I mean, we're all trying to get essentially back to the garden, where he is and we can be and live forever. That's Revelation 21 and 22 when we get to the new heaven and new earth. And we're all then going to be living in essentially this giant version of the garden. It says as a counterpart or as a helpmeet. Some translations have the word being against him, that she was created there as a helpmeet or a counterpart against him. Okay, I'm not going to disagree with that from this point of view. To be against him when he's not doing the work Yahweh gave him to do. Now, ladies, be really careful if you are going to jump out in that role, because what if you don't really know what Yahweh gave him to do? Because maybe you don't understand Yahweh that well yourself. And men, don't you have a problem with your wife being against you on some levels when you're doing all these wrong things? That's part of why he gave you her. So I don't have a problem with that. Why is there enmity between men and women? I can tell you, I counsel a lot of people, women don't like men, men don't like women on some level. There's a lot of enmity there. It's hard to balance that to get through to where you love each other because there's always this issue. And what's the issue? I'll tell you what the issue is. What did he get rid of to fix the enmity? The commands and dogma, the instructions of commands of dogma. Not the Torah commands. I know in your book it says Torah there. It's the dogma of people. So what's going on here? So he's saying here, make sure I have my verse. Dogma is a set of principles laid down by an authority as incontrovertibly true. So he abolished in his flesh the enmity of your personal dogma about what a wife is, about what a husband is, about what marriage is. He's going to break all that down. That's going to get rid of the enmity.